Qadim The Peerless, or QDP in short, is the last raid boss of Wing 7 in Guild Wars 2. Today I'm gonna give you a 10-minute crash course on how to kill this boss. Some important roles in this fight are the tank, the banner slave, and the 3 pylon kiters. Given that you are not a tank or a pylon kiter, this is one of the easier bosses in Guild Wars 2 raids that doesn't require much practice or player skill to kill. However, it's quite a lengthy fight, and the shockwave attacks from QDP at different phases could cause some real grief if you stand in the wrong place at the wrong time. To start the fight, the 3 pylons in the arena must have their Defiance bars, aka the CC bars, broken in order to take down QDP's massive shield, which renders him invulnerable to damage. After the shield is down, the boss will start charging up for his arena-wide shockwave attack. This shockwave attack will happen when the inner red expanding circle from QDP touches the outer AoE circle. Simply dodge half a second before the expanding inner red circle reaches the outer circle, then proceed to damage the boss until 80% of his health bar. The 3 pylon kiters will need to remain tethered to their pylons with the special action key turned on, or else QDP will get his shield back and you'd have to CC the pylons again to recapture them. Following the 3 orange cone attacks, QDP will do a force attack called the Force of Havoc in the direction of the tank, which looks like a dark purple road, so we'll call it the road attack. The road AoE from the Force of Havoc will remain on the platform for a long time, and deals heavy damage to anyone stepping in it. The tank will have to kite the boss in a certain direction between one of the orb landing locations marked by the 3 big circles and a pylon. If a road is placed in the direction of a pylon, the boss will instantly regain his shield and will have to CC that pylon again to recapture it. If a road is placed on one of the orb landing locations where the big circles are on the platform, it could damage the pylon kiters who are trying to catch the orbs coming out of the boss from time to time. Speaking of orbs, QDP will periodically throw energy orbs to one of the 3 circle locations on the platform until 40% of his health bar. This mechanic is called the Shower of Chaos. At 90% of QDP's health bar, the boss will throw a second energy orb at the northwest big circle location, highlighted by a small white circle. The pylon kiter over at the northeast pylon, a Scourge player, will cast a portal spell and teleport to the white circle and wait for the orb to arrive. Once the pylon kiter catches the orb, he then takes the same portal back to his pylon location, and then stand inside the big green AoE circle to tether the orb to his pylon. Some common choices for the pylon kiters are Rifle Deadeyes and Scourges because of their good mobility skills. Periodically, the boss will target a random player to do a triple lightning AoE attack. The 3 lightning strikes of expanding sizes will target the player's location and damage anyone in their AoE. The chosen player will have to run away from the main group as well as the 3 pylon kiters to avoid dealing damage to them. The last lightning strike of the 3 will likely need to be dodged as it is too large to get out of without a proper movement skill. At 80%, all players will be lifted into the air with fireballs on them. They'll need to move to 3 predetermined locations indicated by the markers on the minimap to drop the fireballs. Typically, the team will be split into 3 subgroups to drop fireballs on either left or right side of each assigned pylon. The orange AoE circles will then turn into big fire fields shortly after the fireballs touch the ground. These fire fields will remain for the entire duration of the fight, so it's essential to drop fireballs in the correct location specified by your commander, typically between a big circle and a pylon. After dropping the fireballs, the team will need to CC each pylon again in order to take down QDP's shield and then go back to damage the boss. Remember that before 40% of QDP's health bar, the boss will always launch a shockwave attack right after we CC down all 3 pylons. The first anomaly will spawn at the northeast big circle on the platform at 75% and every 40 seconds afterwards in a clockwise order. My job as a banner slave is to CC down the anomalies first and then kill it with the help of the fire fields. In this footage, the druid and the scourges will also help me CC the anomalies. If we don't kill the anomalies in time, they'll walk to a pylon or the boss himself and start gaining stacks of flare-ups, and then explode at 10 stacks, dealing heavy damage to the whole group. Note that the anomalies can only be damaged after we take down their CC bars. Periodically, QDP will also gain a CC bar that the team has to break quickly, otherwise the Pylon kiters will gain a lot of bad damaging stacks every second that could down a Pylon player. Right at 60%, the team will be lifted up again into the air to drop fireballs. This time, the 3 subgroups assigned to 3 different pylons will be dropping fireballs on the opposite side of each respective pylon, different from the previous drop location at the 80% mark. In this footage, I was assigned to the north pylon, but I went to the southeast pylon instead. Do not panic, because as long as I drop the fireball on the left side of any pylon, and stack it together with the other player's fireballs, I'll be fine. After dropping the fireballs, the 3 pylons will need to be CC'd again to take down QDP's shield, and then a shockwave attack will follow. After 60%, QDP will get a new attack called Caustic Chaos. The boss will point an arrow at a random player and periodically launch 3 electric attacks at the player. If the player got hit in the arrow's path, the electric bullet will explode and deal damage in a very large radius around the point of impact, while also applying a new stack called Chaos Corrosion, which further increases damage taken from subsequent hits of the arrow attack. The chosen player can avoid this attack by jumping. From here on, all the mechanics and attack patterns will repeat itself until we reach 40% of boss HP. At 40% of QDP's health bar, the boss will rush towards the north pylon and destroy it. He'll then place a large fire field down at the north pylon location. So it's important that the north pylon kiter leaves that area before the boss goes there. After the boss places a fire field down, QDP will pause for a second and then launch a big shockwave attack right from the north pylon location. The team will need to stand in the middle of the arena and face towards the boss at the north pylon location. This way the team will be safe from the fire fields even if they got knocked back, because the opposite side of any pylon will always be one of the big circles, and there could never be a fire field on top of a big circle on the platform. A few seconds after, the boss will return to the middle of the arena and reclaim the 2 remaining pylons by doing a second shockwave attack, knocking back players who are still standing at the center of the platform. Players need to get out of the center circle before the red expanding inner circle reaches the outer circle. Otherwise, they'll get knocked back and potentially into a fire field if they stand at the wrong place. Make sure you don't position yourself in front of a fire field, and always stand in front of a pylon or a big circle. Players will need to CC down the pylons again to recapture the 2 pylons, but there won't be a third shockwave after the CC phase anymore. This fight is all about anticipating and position yourself for the shockwave attacks at different phases. Once you understand how the shockwaves work, you'll never die again in this fight. At 30%, QDP will proceed to destroy the southwest pylon and do a shockwave knockback at the pylon location, and then move back to the middle and does another shockwave exactly the same way as before. Simply CC down the pylons afterwards and continue burning the boss down to 20%. At 20%, QDP will destroy the southeast pylon, the last remaining pylon in the arena, and do the exact same sequence of attacks as in the previous 2 pylon phases. The final burning phase after 20% of boss HP is similar to the previous phases, except that this time QDP will gain retaliation buff and Aegis buff every 6 seconds. Players will need to quickly boon strip QDP as soon as he gains boons. Scourges and Renegades all have boon corrupt, so it's no big deal. I forgot to mention earlier that once QDP consumes a pylon at 40% of his health bar, the boss will be able to sub-tether to nearby players, which applies pulsing vulnerability and reduces outgoing damage by 25%. And when the boss consumes additional pylons at 30 and 20% of his health bar, he'll generate more bad tethers, meaning that by 20%, 3 players will permanently have the debuff, while also being able to debuff players around them. But this is such a minor mechanic that could be out-healed by the druid, so I'll just mention it here because the tethers after 20% are quite obvious. The bad tethers are colored red, and the good tethers from the captured pylons are green, which gives some boons, but they're quite insignificant. Just do all the previously mentioned mechanics in this video, and you'll be able to get this boss kill easily within a few tries. Please leave a like or dislike and comment below if you got the QDP kill after watching my video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next raid guide video.